all is good. So far, so good. Like everything is matching with the supercontinent cycles, and then Manvantara cycles, and then the life and death of the sun. And but there is one oldest flood story, Epic of Gilgamesh, and from Sumerian texts, that is described as happened between 2400 and 2800 BCE. Um, so that's definitely oldest flood story, and then these are all the surviving flood stories. If there is any link between any of these flood stories and that one, if they are talking about global deluge happened millions of years ago, there has to be some kind of link. We'll see if there is a link between that and then the flood stories we discussed about so far discussed. So the hero of the story, Gilgamesh, he meets the Utnapishtim in search of immortality, and then Utnapishtim is somebody from the character. He saved the world from the global deluge, previous global deluge. So he is part of the global. He saved the Earth from the global deluge, or he was part of the global deluge, surviving um, people from the global deluge. So how this related to um, the stories we have talked about. So Vaivaswatha Manu saved the world in the last global deluge. So and then Manu period is still continuing. So basically, Manu period, Vaivaswata Manu period started around 250 million years ago with the breakup of Pangaea, and then in continuing. Even though Indian texts talk about these Manus as individuals, they are basically kind of a description of these cycles, and it could be any life form that existed around that time. But the entire period from the starting of the breakup of the supercontinent to the formation and breakup of the next supercontinent in probably in another 250 million years from now, the entire period is called Vaivaswata Manu period. So when you look at somebody, Vaivaswata Manu saved the species, and then the life is continuing, it looks like Vaivaswata Manu is basically living for 425 million years, the duration of the supercontinent cycle. And then if somebody lives for that long, definitely we'll call them as achieved the immortality. So that's what I guess the Utnapishtim was described as achieved the immortality, because he was part of the previous flood and he was surviving, and Gilgamesh was trying to meet him to learn about the immortality, and then he wants to achieve the immortality. Even when we look at the word Utnapishtim, it's almost similar to, phonetically similar to Vaivaswata Manu. So when you take a Vaivaswata Manu, make it Vaivaswatam, Vaivaswatam Utnapishtim is both like kind of very, very similar sounding words. So based on that, so we could say that like Vaivaswata